So here we are going to discuss about the in the today's class our topic of discussion is from the NCRT. As we know that our NCRT book is very important, so we will study the points from the NCRT textbook. So here I will discuss in the today's class I will discuss about the from which topic we have to start from euglenoids. So euglenoids general features we will study here. What are the general features of the euglenoids that we will study here? After that we will study slime molds, and after slime molds we will study protozoans. So majority of euglenoids are freshwater organisms. Okay, they live in fresh water. They are found in the stagnant water. Stagnant water means what? In the standing water, standing, which is not flowing. Okay. Still water. So majority of them are, am I clearly audible? So majority of them are freshwater organisms found in stagnant water. Instead of a cell wall, they do not have a cell wall, but they have a protein rich layer. That protein rich layer is called as what? That is called as pellicle. Okay. That protein rich layer is called as pellicle, and this pellicle makes their body what? That makes their body flexible. Okay. So question can be asked that instead of a protein rich layer, which structure is which is present in case of euglenoid? So you will say pellicle is there, and it is making their body flexible. So they have how many flagella? They have two flagella. Can you see here in this diagram? These are what? These are flagella. Okay, so we have two flagella. One flagella, that is the long one, and other is the short. You can see one short flagella, other long one. Now what about their nutrition? This question can be asked. What about their nutrition? Actually they are mixotropic in nutrition. Mixotropic means they possess the mixed type of nutrition. Okay, mixed type means they can behave as autotrophic also. So though they are photosynthetic in the presence of sunlight, right? They are photosynthetic in the presence of sunlight, but when there is no sunlight, when they are deprived of sunlight, so at that case I am highlighting this point, so this is important. So at that case they will behave like what? They will behave like heterotrophs. So how they behave like heterotrophs? By predating on the smaller organisms. They they just behave like heterotrophs by predating on the smaller organisms. So important interesting thing here to know, that is what? That is pigments in case of euglenoids are identical or same to those present in case of higher plants. So that is very interesting to know that the pigments of the euglenoids are identical to those present in case of higher plants, right? So example is our what? Example is the euglena. Our example here is what? Euglena. Euglena is an example of euglenoid, right? So next is my what? Next is my slime mold. Slime mold. Slime mold are saprophytic. What do you mean by saprophytic? Means they feed on dead organisms, or dead decaying organic matter. So slime molds are saprophytic protist. The body moves along decaying twigs and leaves, engulfing. So at that case, it will engulf what? Organic material. It will engulf. They will engulf organic material. So under suitable conditions, they form an aggregation which is called as what? Which is called as the plasmodium. Under suitable, question can be asked, under suitable or unsuitable conditions. So under suitable conditions they form the aggregation which is called as what? Under suitable conditions, yeah, they form the plasmodium, which may grow and spread over several feet. Which may grow and actually this may grow and that can spread over several feet. So, during unfavorable conditions, but during unfavorable condition, what happened? The plasmodium differentiates and form the structure which is called as fruiting body. So, highlight this point. I am also highlighting here fruiting body. Question can be asked that fruiting bodies are formed under favorable conditions or unfavorable. So, answer will be unfavorable conditions. Yes, so fruiting bodies are formed under unfavorable conditions. So actually these fruiting bodies, they bear the structures called spores at their tips. So fruiting bodies bear what? They bear the structures called as spores at their tips. So their spores possess true walls. Their these spores, the spores, they possess true walls. Now, what is special about these spores? Underline this. They are extremely resistant and survive for many years. See, because I am just saying that the plasmodium body further differentiate and it will form fruiting bodies, right? And that is bearing spores at their tips. These spores possess true walls, so that's why they become extremely resistant, okay, and can survive for many years. Resistant to what? Resistant to adverse conditions, like adverse environmental conditions, like this. Now what is a medium for dispersion of these spores? So they are dispersed by air currents, okay, air currents. So through air they are dispersed. So that is the slime mold paragraph we completed. Next one is protozoan. Protozoan. So all the protozoans are heterotrophs. All the protozoans are heterotrophs, and they live predators or parasites. Remember, they can be parasites or they can be predators. So they are believed to be the primitive relatives of animals. They are believed to be the primitive relatives of animals. So total we have four groups of protozoans. How many groups of protozoans we have? Four groups. First I'm discussing here. See, that is amoeboid protozoan. Am I clearly audible? My screen visible? Okay, let me know if any problem. Okay. So amoeboid protozoan, and listen each and every point clearly. At the end, we will do revision. So clear? Amoeboid protozoan. So these organisms live in fresh water. So what can be their habitat? Firstly, they can live in fresh water, they can live in sea water, or they can also live in moist soil. So they can be their habitats. So they move and capture. How they prey? How they capture their prey? Question here arises, how they capture their prey. So they capture their prey by putting out pseudopodia. Pseudopodia structures are called as false feet. Okay, pseudopodia are called as false feet. So they move and capture their prey by putting out pseudopodia, false feet, and it is seen in case of amoeba. Okay, so amoeba and amoeboid protozoan. So why I am saying here amoeboid protozoan? Are you getting this thing? Why I am saying amoeboid term here? So how they behave like? What is shown? What is discussed here? Read this second line once. Hmm. So this is what? This is the, you know what are pseudopodia? False fit. Yeah. So that is a false fit. Okay. So here what is mentioned means, what is there? See, pseudopodia is there. Pseudopodia is called as false fit. So why it is mentioned like this? Because they are just compared with that of amoeba. But again, there is a difference between the two, right? So what is the difference? So actually, when I am saying the term amoeba, so tell me, amoeba is unicellular or multicellular? you can note down in your notes that term amoeba refers to a specific type of single celled organisms, while amoeboid protozoan while amoeboid protozoan while our amoeboid protozoa possess a broader category of organ, broader means I am just saying a broad term here, amoeboid protozoan. Actually na, these two organisms are, as you are asking what is the difference, so these two organisms they are just different. So when I'm saying amoeba, so amoeba refers to a specific type of single celled organisms, whereas whenever I'm saying amoeboid protozoan, that represents the broader category of organisms. But how they resemble actually, due to the presence of pseudopodia. Is this clear? Am I audible? Is this clear? Maybe proceed. Kingdom. Okay. So I'm just explaining. So firstly, before going to directly going to the question, we must understand the concept. So see, in the five kingdom system of classification, you have five kingdoms, right? So you just imagine that your organisms in the kingdom, first kingdom was Monera. So in the kingdom Monera, which type of organisms are placed? Hmm. So now, if we are discussing here about the bacteria are placed, second kingdom that we are discussing here, that is our what? Protista. So protista are unicellular. Okay. So your amoeba is also what? Generally unicellular. Okay. So it is included in the, if you say the kingdom, so it is included in the kingdom Protista. Protozoan is not the kingdom. Protozoan is further classes. It's further groups. Kingdom is Protista. Clear? And also amoeba are what? Eukaryotic, like Protista. So in this way, we have to handle the questions. Just we have to think about their features. Yes. So see, marine forms have silica shells on their surface. So marine means they also live in sea. So their marine forms have what? They have silica shells on their surface. So some of them, such as antamoeba, are parasites. So some of them, such as antamoeba, are parasites. So antamoeba is what? That is parasite. Next is the flagellated protozoan. So flagellated protozoan, they have what? They have flagella. So members of this group are either free living or parasitic. Members of this group are either free living, they can be free living, or they can be parasitic. They have flagella or not? Yes, they have. So the parasitic forms causes disease such as sleeping sickness. Okay, the parasitic forms causes the disease. What is the name of the disease? That is sleeping sickness. Hmm. So they can ask you question that sleeping sickness is caused by which type of protozoan? So that is protozoan, and name is trypanosoma. Trypanosoma causes this. Trypanosoma, right? So that is a flagellated protozoan. Next one is the ciliated. So whenever I'm saying ciliated means it has what? Cilia. Cilia are what? They are hair-like structures. So our ciliated, yeah, great. So our ciliated protozoans are what? These are aquatic, means these live in water, actively moving because of the presence, because they have thousands of cilia. They have thousands of cilia, and because of these cilia, they actively move. They have a cavity. What is special about these? They have a cavity which is called as the gullet that opens to the outside of the cell surface. They have a cavity which is called as the gullet. So the coordinated movements of rows of cilia causes the water laden with food to be stirred into the gullet. So are you getting my point? Means cilia are present in the rows, and the movement of these cilia are in a proper coordination. So there is the cilia which are present in the rows, and movement of these cilia are in the coordinated manner. That is in the coordinated manner. Hmm. Actually, it simply means that water along with the food. Hmm. That should go into what? Yeah. Gullet is what? Cavity. Example is paramecium. Paramecium is an example of ciliated protozoan. Clear? Ciliated protozoan example clear? Paramecium. Next is sporozoan. So this include diverse group of organisms that have an infectious spore-like stage in their life cycle. So what is special about the sporozoans? They have the infectious spore-like stage in their life cycle. They have the infectious spore-like stage in their life cycle. Example is what? Plasmodium. Plasmodium is what? That is a malarial parasite. It causes malaria, and it has effect on the human population. So sporozoans include what? Diverse organisms that have the infectious spore-like stage in their life cycle. Example is Plasmodium. Next is kingdom fungi. We have the fungi constitute a unique kingdom of heterotrophic organisms. Okay, that constitute a unique kingdom of heterotrophic organisms. Okay, heterotrophs are fungi are what? They are heterotrophs. They show a great diversity in the morphology and habitat. Morphology means what? Based on the external features. Okay, so externally, wide diversity. Wide diversity means wide variety is there. So the fungi constitute a unique group of heterotrophic organisms. They show a great diversity in their morphology and their habitat. So you must have seen fungi on a moist bread and rotten fruits. You must have seen fungi on the moist bread and rotten fruits. So the common mushrooms you eat and toadstools, they are also what? They are also fungi actually. The common mushroom that we eat and the toadstools, they are also fungi actually. So white spots seen on the mustard leaves are due to the parasitic fungus. So white spots which are seen on the mustard leaf, that is due to what? That is due to the parasitic fungus. So some unicellular fungi, example yeast, they are used to make bread and beer. Question can come. So bread and in order to make bread and beer, so yeast is used. Yeast is what? That is a unicellular fungi. Yeast is unicellular fungi. So other fungi causes disease in plants and animals. Wheat rust causing Puccinia is an important example. Actually, your Puccinia cause what? It caused the wheat rust. So disease called wheat rust. Wheat rust causing Puccinia is an important example. So some are the source of antibiotics. Some are source of antibiotics. Example, penicillium. Penicillium is the source of antibiotic. Okay, antibiotic. So fungi are cosmopolitan, means it is found everywhere. It can occur in air, water, soil, or on animals and plants. So we know already that they prefer to grow in warm and humid places. So why we keep the food in the refrigerator? Just to prevent the food from going bad due to bacterial infections. Due to bacterial infections. So with the exception of yeast, which are unicellular, with the exception of yeast which are unicellular, yeast is what? Yeast is unicellular. So fungi are filamentous. Fungi are filamentous. Their body consists of long cylinder thread like structures called hyphae. Important question. Hyphae. Hyphae are what? Their bodies consist of long cylinder thread like structures which are called as hyphae. So what is hyphae actually? Long cylinder. Cylinder means thin. Long and thin thread like structures called hyphae. Now, what is mycelium here? The network of hyphae is known as mycelium. The network of hyphae is known as what? Mycelium. So some hyphae are continuous tubes. Some hyphae are continuous tubes filled with multinucleated cytoplasm. So that is called as the koinocytic hyphae. What is koinocytic hyphae? Koinocytic hyphae simply means that the hyphae are the, okay, so some hyphae are continuous tubes filled with multinucleated cytoplasm, filled with multinucleated cytoplasm. Clear? So some hyphae are continuous tubes filled with multinucleated cytoplasm. These are called as the koinocytic hyphae. So some hyphae are continuous tubes filled with multinucleated cytoplasm. These are called as the koinocytic hyphae. So others have septi or cross walls in their hyphae. So others have septi or cross walls in their hyphae. So septi means what? That means cross walls in their hyphae. Hyphae were what? I will show you image just after completing this paragraph. Okay. So see, what is hyphae? Long cylinder thread-like structure. Clear? So the cell wall of fungi are composed of what? Chitin and, very important. Underline this. Hmm. That is made up of polysaccharide is what? Yeah, they are carbohydrates actually. Carbohydrate classification. Carbohydrate. Mhm. Polysaccharides. And amino acids. Yeah, right. You have your mobile phone with you or not? No problem. No problem. One second. I will just I will just show here you a image for these all. Just from Google I will show. because I already had an image in which it is shown like septate, septum, everything. Yes, can you see in this image? So actually, this is septate hyphae. So here hyphae, so septum, just like cross walls, like partitions type. This type, see septum. This is this type of cross walls. Means partitions you can see here. Clear? So yeah, can you see here nucleus with the blue color? Nucleus. So what we discussed in the NCRT? Multinucleated. So can you see so many blue colored here? Multinucleated. So that is coinocytic hyphae. So cross walls are there. These all partitions. These are septum or cross walls. So this is septate hyphae. Clear? Okay. So in the hyphae you have seen this thing. So cell wall of fungi are made up of chitin and polysaccharide. This is clear. So most fungi are heterotrophic and they absorb soluble organic material from the dead substrates and hence are called as saprophytes. So those that depend on living plants and animals are called as parasites. Okay, so those fungi that depend on the living plant and animals, they are called as parasites. They can also live as a symbiont. Symbiont means mutual relationship. In association they are living, so in association with algae. Okay, so what is lichen? Lichen is yeah, but it is what, it is symbiotic association of algae and fungi. So that is a symbiotic relationship. Symbiotic relationship means these two partners will get mutual benefit. So that is the symbiotic association between the algae and fungi. So that is what, that is lichen. So they can also live as symbionts in, for example, in association with algae as lichens or with roots of higher plants. So that is mycorrhiza. So what is mycorrhiza? Root plus fungus association, that is mycorrhiza. Root plus fungus association, that is mycorrhiza. So now what about the reproduction in fungi? So they can reproduction take place by the vegetative means, like fragmentation, your fission, your budding, they can be reproduction methods. So asexual reproduction is by spores. So asexual reproduction takes place by what? Spores. Yeah, after this will come fragmentation, as the name itself indicating. Fragmentation means what? Fragment means what? Pieces. So the parent cell divide into small fragments, and each fragment will grow into a, will produce a new organism. So that is fragmentation. Okay, that is fragmentation. Now what about the budding? In case of budding, what happen, there is a parent cell. Okay, and on this a small outgrowth called as bud will come. Small outgrowth on the parent cell, okay, will come. That is the bud. So so as it mature, this bud will detach from the parent cell. It will detach and then it produce a new organism, and then it produce a new organism, right? Now what about fission? So fission is a form of asexual reproduction where a single celled fungus divides into two identical daughter cells. So I have the single celled fungus, and that will divide into two identical daughter cells. That is binary fission. Binary fission actually. Binary means two. But mitosis is different thing. Mitosis is equational division. Huh. That we will discuss in cell cycle and cell division chapter. Meiosis is different. Meiosis is what? Reductional division. Mitosis is equational division. So here, yeah, asexual reproduction takes place by the structures called as spores, called conidia. What can be the different type of spores here? Your conidia, your sporangiospores, okay, your zoospores. What can be the different type of spores here? Conidia, sporangiospore, or zoospores. Are you getting my point? These are different types of spores. Conidia, sporangiospore, zoospore. And sexual reproduction occurs by oospore, ascospore, basidiospore. So sexual reproduction occurs by oospore, ascospore, and basidiospore. So the various spores are produced in distinct structures called fruiting bodies. So actually, we have the special type of structures which are called as the fruiting bodies, and various spores are produced in these distinct structures. So various spores are produced in distinct structures which are called as fruiting bodies. The sexual cycle involves the three steps. Okay, sexual cycle involves the three steps. What are the three steps? First is the plasmogamy. Second is the karyogamy. Remember, this sequence can come in the exam. PKM. PKM. P for plasmogamy, K for karyogamy, M for meiosis. So fusion of protoplasm between two motile or non-motile gametes, that is called as the plasmogamy. You know what is protoplasm? Okay. You know what is the meaning of word karyo in case of karyogamy? Karyo, what simply means here? Yeah, good. That simply means here nucleus. And what is protoplasm? Note it down. Protoplasm is the no. It is the living substance within the cell. What is the living material within a cell? It will not include. See, your cytoplasm is a semi-fluid substance. Okay, semi-fluid substance within the cell, that is the cytoplasm, and nucleus is there. Nucleus is also there. Okay, so it includes the cytoplasm and the nucleus. But again, these are different. Protoplasm terminology I am using for the living material of the cell, whereas cytoplasm term I am using for the semi fluid substance within the cell. Semi fluid substance. So karyo means nucleus. So fusion of two nuclei, that is called as the karyogamy, and meiosis in zygote resulting in the formation of haploid spores. Meiosis is noted down here in the NCRT. Meiosis is the reductional division. Reductional division, and it results in the formation of the haploid spores.